Let me begin by thanking Rick and GLAA for this award. This afternoon, for the first time, I looked at that attachment that they sent out, the list of all the previous awardees, and it truly is humbling to realize how many really fantastic people there have been over the years and on whose shoulders we stand. And yet, we all recognize that there's more to come. I was a latecomer, in a way, to the LGBT movement. I was a latecomer even coming out. And then I worked in places like the Justice Department, and labor union at that time was not particularly friendly towards LGBT folks. So I kind of was in the closet until I decided suddenly it was time to retire. And someone who I hope is in the room who wasn't sure he could be here tonight, by the name of Jeffrey Slavin, along with an old friend named Kenny Hill, who probably many of you don't know, but is a wonderful person now living in London, persuaded me that I should join the board of the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force. I was reluctant, but I did it. It was an organization in great difficulty, financially and otherwise. I spent 15 years on that board, 4 of them as co-chair, and at the end of the period, I take no personal responsibility for it, because the organization survived and thrived, and it is now once again, a leading LGBT organization. So we're very proud of that. And one of the things I said to my colleagues at the task force was, good we talk to each other, but we talk too much to each other. We don't talk enough to outsiders, to our allies even. And I think we ought to change that. So when I stepped down from the board, within a month I joined up with DC for Democracy, which, as you may know, is the national organization of Democracy for America. Howard Dean was the person who set it up, and I was a long-time admirer of his. So I was happy to get involved. I had no idea, however, what I was getting into. I'd never worked before for a totally volunteer organization, but there was nobody to do anything for you. You had to do it all, and we have done it all. I particularly want to recognize Keish Narawahedi, who's here tonight. Within a very short period of time after I joined up with DC for Democracy, Keish, who was then the new chair, reached out and said, hey, you'd make a great political director. How about it? And so I did. And then I went from there to being chair. Thank God, term limited, because after 3 years of being chair without any kind of clerical or any other kind of assistance, it was a pretty wearing experience. But DC for Democracy made a number of things possible. Number one, it really was the basis on which I joined the board of the Coalition to Stop Gun Violence, and I'm appreciative of that. It also was the basis on which I became the chair of the DC Statehood Coalition. Many of you may not have heard much about the coalition. It's an interesting organization you'll hear more about soon. But by and large, it has been flying under the radar, doing the hard work that needs to get done. And I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about statehood, as I think we all should. I neglected to mention, most importantly, that I've been lucky to be part of a large family, supported family, and I have, believe it or not, 4 members of my family here tonight, 2 of them coming up from Georgia for the occasion. My sister Melinda, her husband Bob. And from the far distant shores of the other side of the Potomac, Alexandria, my niece Erin and her wife Amy, also here tonight. know Chuck Hicks was here earlier, but I can't. Great. Okay, Chuck, you aren't going to get away without getting a mention here tonight. Chuck has gotten me into more stuff than I can imagine I'd ever do. I have enjoyed every minute of it, from being the chair of volunteers for the March, to working with the DC Arts and Humanities Commission on the Rustin, Baldwin event. There's a whole host of other things. It's opened up a lot of new vistas for me. I've always been a strong supporter of civil rights. I've never been had the feeling that I was so much involved as I have since I met Chuck and since he took me in hand and introduced me around to people and organizations that I haven't previously been aware of. So I'm deeply indebted to Chuck. I appreciate all that he does. He's an amazing man. He's full of ideas. If we could just implement all of his ideas, we'd be a whole lot better off. But no single person could ever possibly do it all. But thank you again. Others have said it before tonight, and I'll say it one more time. I'm sure my other co-awardees will say it as well. We've got a lot of work to do, an awful lot of work to do. I'm very proud of what we're doing. I commend GLAA, I commend the mayor for the moves that we've made in terms of the transgender community, but that's just the beginning. There's a lot more to do. So I am proud to have this award. I'm also proud to be a living, surviving 25 years plus HIV person. I thought I'd never see age 50, and I'm 72, and I'm ready to keep going. So I look forward to working with all of you for quite a long time. Thank you.